Hello there, Lynx here, and welcome to A Sky Full of Stars. Let's see, I assume this is another memory from the past of Akito, so let's see what kind of memory that is. It starts with a sigh, so maybe not the greatest indicator. It was morning. Okay, that explains a lot. And standing in front of a classroom door here at school, I let out a long sigh. Hikari had come over to my house last night, and we looked at the moon through my telescope together. It was such a wonderful experience. How long has it been since something so emotional and dramatic made my heart beat so fast? My heart was still racing from the thrill I'd felt as I gazed at the lunar landscape with her. And yet, I'd made a shameful mistake while I was caught up in the moment. That's right, in case you haven't been here in previous episode, I'll tell you what happened. I'm sure this is what Dad had wanted to show me. A couple of students walking nearby flinched in surprise as I threw my arms up around my head in my outburst. What the heck was up with this "who is me" attitude? The embarrassment of remembering was enough to make me want to throw myself out of a window. But Hikari had quietly listened to me talk about all of that. I wondered what she really thought of me then. How the heck do I face her after that? As I was fidgeting in front of the classroom. Hey. Eh? I overheard a very excited voice speaking. I was certain that she was talking about me. Better head to the restroom first. Right as I turned around, there was Saya who had just arrived at school. She flinched, startled by my sudden movement, and looked up at me with alarm reflected in her multicolored eyes. Oh, Tears began swimming in Saya's eyes. No escape. I faced forward again and entered the classroom.
月ってデコボコしてるんだよ。知ってた？山とか谷とかがあってね、ゴツゴツした感じ。
The stars in her eyes.
嘘だ。ツルツルしてるじゃん。嘘じゃないって。私この目で見たもん。ウサギいた？
What bunny? What are you talking about?
いたかもしれない。うん、いた。ぴょんぴょん跳ねてた。
What? There was no bunny. I retorted without thinking. I tried to avoid eye contact by turning away, but I was too late.
Akito! Ohayo! 今なんて
I mean, technically since the very beginning, I guess. The girls in the classroom all glared at me in surprise after hearing that Hikari had hung out with me the other day. Morning, Hikari.
名前で呼び合ってる。昨日の夜何かあったんじゃないあの二人。
The girls started to whisper amongst themselves like we were up to something taboo. It felt like there was a huge misunderstanding on their eyes. While we were looking at the moon together last night, Hikari-san sprang this conversation on me.
空見くんってなんか長くて呼びにくいな。アキトって呼んでいい？
Oh, okay. That's fine with me.
私のことも光って呼ぶんだよ。
え？
ほうき星さんって超長いじゃん。聞いてるこっちもなんかまどろっこしいんだよね。
Well, yeah, I guess not.
友達ランクさらにアップだね。
Leveled up! And so we decided that we'd spend time together outside of school too. Although, truthfully, I wasn't really used to the idea yet. I mean, it was yesterday, so...
どうしたの、アキト？風邪でもひいた？
No, it's nothing. I watched her expression carefully as I answered. It didn't seem like my emotional debacle last night was affecting her in any way. I felt a little relieved.
今ね、昨日のこと話してたんだ。みんなも見たいって、お月様。
Hey. When I had come into the classroom, I was too busy worrying about what to do. I hadn't noticed that the way my classmates saw me had changed from yesterday. I wouldn't go as far as to call it respect, but it was something along those lines. Also, I haven't noticed that before, but this is interesting. The teacher actually sits sideways to the classroom. That's interesting. And then again, maybe it's because the TV is right there as well. So she doesn't basically sit in front of it, and if they watch something, basically block the view. But still, it's an interesting way. I've never had a single classroom in any of the schools where that would be done, to be honest. Anyway. At least they weren't looking at me all confused like I was some kind of alien anymore.
だからさ、やろうよみんなで。天体観測会。
え？
天体観測会？なにそれ？難しそう。全然難しくないよ。天体望遠鏡で星を見るの。それだけ。ね、いいよね、アキト。
Hey. I caught a quick glance of Saya, who was sitting by the window staring at the scenery outside and keeping away from the classroom commotion. She had always been a little unapproachable, like she tended to put up walls between herself and the others. Sure. Sounds good to me.
アキトもこう言ってるし、いいよね。いいけど。
Despite their half-hearted responses, Hikari and I looked at each other with knowing glances. We had predicted this kind of back and forth discussion last night, but it seemed that the first step to our grand scheme was a success.
クラスで天体観測会をしたい？
It was lunchtime. We approached the best girl of the game. After Hikari and I devoured our lunches, we interrupted Miss Sotoma's lunch to tell her all about our idea in the hallway.
昨日ちゃんと月が見えたのね。見えたよ。ありがとう先生。すっごく感動したんだ。
Though we lacked the vocabulary to adequately express ourselves, it was easy to tell by our expressions how moving it was for us.
そう、よかったわね。
Wanna join us? Miss Sotome replied to Hikari and then turned and smiled gently at me. I felt my cheeks flush, and so I lowered my head to hide my face.
だからね、みんなにも見せてあげたいんだ。
You already developed that crush, huh?
そうね。
Miss Sotome once again glanced at my expression. Last time it seemed she was a little worried. Since Miss Sotome was our homeroom teacher, I'm sure she'd noticed that I'd had a hard time fitting in this past month since I transferred schools.
どんな星が見たいか、もう決まっているの？
Albireo, I called out suddenly. I'd really like for everyone to see that. Our teacher looked a little surprised, but she quickly nodded her head in agreement.
いいわ。じゃあ今日の終わりの会でみんなに提案してみましょう。やったー！観測の計画は2人に任せてもいいかしら。計画って何するの？天体はいつでもそこにあるわけじゃないわ。少しずつだけど動いているの。
They literally noticed that. Hikari nodded her head with an already knew that expression on her face.
いつどうすればその星が見られるかちゃんと調べておかないといけないわ。
I don't think they know how to do that.
できる？
As for the Q, our eyes met in agreement.
やり
Oh yeah, I was supposed to say that too. Okay, we can do it too. I guess we should like sync with that. Ready? We can do it! Totally synced, no planning. Miss Otome gave us a smile.
よし任せたわよ二人とも計画ができたら先生にも教えてちょうだいわかった
Thank you, Miss Miharu. I called her by her first name without thinking. I thought she was slightly taken aback at first, she chuckled.
頑張って
With that, she gave me an encouraging pat on my shoulder. I felt the gentle and warm feeling bubbling up inside of me. It had been so long since I had an adult expect anything like this for me.
行こうアキト
Right.
どこ行くの図書室
And with that, we took off towards the school library.
こら廊下は走っちゃダメよ
I think that children that don't ever listen to. At the class meeting, it was decided that we would hold a stargazers meetup. Which reminds me, there is a game called Stargazers. Do I have it? Oh, would you look at that? I'm drifting off the game again to check something. What a surprise. No, I do not have it. The Stargazer. Lupisoft. Manga Gamer. We played something from Lupisoft. The Reject Demon. Toko. That's right. Chapter 0. That's what he played. I have one more game actually from them. Called Mutiny. And apparently with all the DLCs somehow. We should play this. Anyway. We'd expect that Tadakichi would complain, so it was a good thing we had explained it all to Miss Otome beforehand. As soon as Miss Otome said that it was a great idea, the decision was unanimous. We moved on to the planning stage of our event.
おばちゃん
Let's go! The good old school store. After school, Hikari took me to a local candy shop on the way home, or a candy shop, yes. Next to Mikazuki Station, there were many small shops that lined the streets. The sign of this shop read Saotome.
いらっしゃい、ひかりちゃん
So our future workplace. Calling out to Hikari, a little old stout lady emerged from the back of the shop. A puzzled look crossed her face when she saw me.
見かけない子だね。もしかして君が空見明人くんかい
How? What? Yes? How did she know my name?
見張るから聞いてるよ。ちょっと強情だけど面白い子がクラスに入ったって。
Miharu. Oh.
おばちゃんは早乙女先生のお母さんなんだよ
This lady is Miss Saotome's.
よく似てるだろあの子、私に似て美人だから。
Granny said before letting out a hearty cackle. I could only nod meekly in reply.
いつも娘が世話になってるわね。あの子、学校でちゃんとやってるかい
うん、やってるよみんな先生のこと大好きだもんね、アキト
Absolutely 100% loving her. Oh, yeah. I suddenly blushed and started to fidget. Literally is showing that right now, right? The fact that we found out earlier how he supposedly had a crush at her, he clearly already developed that here. Nice.
あのね、アキトはね
Okay, Hikari proceeded to talk. The old lady seemed off about various topics.
へえ、そうなのかい
Granny gave me a deliberately surprised look. What?
こんな男前、あの子にはもったいないよ。
What? What did she just say?
いつものやつある
What do you mean by that? Oi! Revert, come on. Hikari said. Oh, did she say to her already? seems like Akito has a crush on your daughter. Or something like that. Is this the moment that it happened? I want to know.
はいよ。取ってくるから待っといて。
What's the usual stuff, by the way? As Granny disappeared into the back, Hikari headed over to a large dog lounging at the side of the shop.
Brr.
Okay, that sounded funny. Come on. The dog lazily turned its head towards Hikari. So this is Taro. He really was huge. From the looks of him, I was sure that he had German Shepherd blood somewhere in his mad heritage.
怖くないよ。ほら。
To prove her point, Hikari leaned down and gave Taro a big hug.
太郎よしよしあったかーい
Huh? It sounds like he's growling.
あんまり構いすぎると吠えるんだアキトも撫でてやりなよ
I think I'll pass, thanks. Despite being an old dog, he had a glint to his eyes and an edge to his growl that warned me he was serious. I felt a little sorry for Takaichi after thinking about how he must have apologized to Hikari after she'd thrown his indoor shoes into Tara's doghouse.
ひかりちゃん。はい、これパンの耳。
Dude, also, it's so nice, like, actually living in a place where it seems like everyone knows each other. That's so nice.
ありがと
いつもこんなのもらって帰ってどうするんだい？
うちょっとね
I don't know what she gets, so. Hikari looked so happy as she took the bag, stuffed fully with bread crusts from Granny. Bread crusts?
それとこれお食べ。
She gave each of us a pork bun.
いいの
サービスだよ。新しいお客さんを連れてきてくれたからね。その代わり、ミハルをあんまり困らせないでやっておくれよ。
任せといて
Hikari answered happily. In reality, the top two troublemakers in our class would have been Hikari and Takeichi, yeah.
ありがとうおばちゃん
Thank you very much.
気をつけて帰るんだよ。
得したね
Yeah. Taking our extra large pork buns with us, we settled ourselves underneath the bridge and cracked open our books. It was the book we had borrowed from the school library during lunch break. And at our feet was... Pooch? Can we name him already? Was happily munching away on the bread crusts that Hikari had brought with us. Okay. The crusts were leftovers from the nearby bakery that Granny Otome had picked up to give to Hikari. That was how Hikari was able to get food for this little guy. But just bread is not enough, to be honest, so... Anyway.
どう美味しいでしょ
Yeah, it's delicious! Nom 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 nom. My expression became serious as I answered. I'd eaten pork buns from convenience stores before, but this one was on a whole different level of flavor. It was stuffed full of filling, and when I took a bite, my mouth overflowed with its delicious aroma. It was the first time in my life I had eaten something so delicious. Thoughts like that were overwhelming. And yet I knew that couldn't really be the case. If I had thought about it, Mom's cooking had been really delicious too. It's been a long time since I've enjoyed the taste of food. I just didn't have the luxury of feeling that way. Although now I could say the opposite is true. I thought that as I watched the steam rise from the extra large pork bun.
あった
Hikari held the open book in her lap. At her exclamation, I looked down the chart on the page that Hikari had turned to. It showed an illustration of the Sinus constellation next to real photos of the night sky. Underneath them all was a picture of a set of orange and blue twin stars.
アルビレオって白鳥座のくちばしなんだ
We had borrowed all the books we could, Hikari related to the stars from the school library. Since we hardly knew anything about the stars or astronomy in general, we had no idea which books we should read. So we read every single one. It explains that here. Albireo is a star that appears to be single to the naked eye, but shows two closely nestled stars when viewed through a telescope. These types of astronomical phenomena are known as double stars. Visual double stars only appear to be double when viewed from Earth, however the stars are actually nowhere near each other. When the two stars are actually in close proximity, they form what is known as binary star. Interesting. I didn't know that. Hikari looked up at the sky. Well, I technically do not know much about astronomy in general, so of course I would not know something like that. Although we really want to see what Albireo would look like, we knew the weather had to be clear to do so. Puch let out a whine and looked up at Hikari, who was engrossed in the diagrams of the book. Not surprised. I quietly opened my backpack and took out the milk I had inside. I then went to Puch's makeshift house under the bridge and brought out his food dish. Hikari spoke as I began pouring milk into it. I felt my face begin to flush, for I tried to keep a neutral expression. I don't like milk. Besides, I just want to help this little guy out. It's my duty, right? When I found out that Hikari was bringing back food for Puch, I had been saving milk from my school lunches to give to him. Saying that I had the milk was a lie, by the way. If anything, I actually really loved it. With a happy bark, Puch began eagerly lapping up the milk from his dish. Hikari laughed at seeing that. I am, that's true. And I speak real life too. I don't think that's true. No, you have to play it cool. I answered her pretty bluntly, but Hikari laughed like she knew better. I felt giddy as my heart fluttered a bit in my chest. Perhaps the grumpy-looking Taro had also felt this way when Hikari had hugged him. So, Hikari, do you like Night on the Galactic Railroad? Wanting to change topic, I asked her about something I'd always been curious about. She looked at me as if to ask, how did you know? I overheard you that time when you were talking to Saya. I thought that maybe that was the reason that you were interested in stars or something. I had always wondered what made Hikari so interested in stargazing. And it would be strange for someone to acquire interest in stars because they like Night on the Galactic Railroad. It's a story about riding a train that travels across the Milky Way and journeys through the world of constellations. Maybe the reason she knew the star named Albireo is also because of this story. Just like Hikari told Saya, Albireo is the famous star mentioned in A Night of the Galactic Railroad. By the way, your dad is a train conductor, right, Hikari? I had overheard someone mention that in a conversation before too. Do I have all the information from hearing someone saying something on me? They said he was an employee for the local line. The fact also explained why someone like Hikari, who didn't seem like the bookworm type, would read something like Night on the Galactic Railroad. Hikari! Link is the handrail on the bridge. Hikari looked up the sky as the red hue from the setting sun slowly spread across it. I wonder if I had asked something I shouldn't have? Maybe I had poked my nose too far into her personal business. As I started to worry that I had ruined the mood, Hikari answered me. Hey, what do you mean? when we saw that there was land on the moon. What did I think when I had seen that through the telescope? What did I feel? I was intrigued and very excited. And yet, seeing the landscape beyond the expanse of space, I couldn't help but remember a sadness that gripped my heart. What had I really felt at the time?
私はね、行ってみたいって思った。
Hey? Huh? What? What do you mean?
ここじゃない。どこか遠くの世界。そこには山があって、谷があって、確かな大地があって。
Interesting.
まるで別の世界がそこにあるように感じて、行ってみたいって思ったんだ。
Hikari stared longingly at the sky, for her gaze seemed to be fixated on something that lay far beyond the dusky sky. For it was obscured by a red veil, beyond there stretched the vastness of space, with countless stars that twinkled continuously. Seeing her profile, I felt as though Hikari was far from me. Just like I was looking at the surface of the moon through the telescope. Even though I felt as if she was so close, she was still unfathomably far. Despite appearing to be within my grasp, I couldn't reach her no matter how far I stretched out my arms. Hikari.
どうしたの?
I had unknowingly taken her hand. Hikari looked at me in surprise. It's nothing, it's nothing, it's nothing. I could still feel the warmth from Hikari's hand after I had pulled away. I felt treasured by that fact.
こんなところにカップル発見!
At that moment, I heard the vulgar voice of the person I want to see least in the world.
見たぞ! 今手繋いでただろ! イエーイ! 光と空見はあっちっち! あっちっち!
There was Takeichi and his lackeys spouting their nonsense. Pooch hid himself behind Hikari. He was such a shy dog that he'd hide if he was approached by anyone he wasn't used to.
またあんたたちか。ほんと暇だね。
お前らできてんだろ。
だったらどうだっていうの?
I didn't see that comeback, huh? That's the best comeback you can have, yeah. Hey, we all think I said the exact same thing at the same exact time as Takeichi. Both Takeichi's eyes were thrown for a loop by Hikari's audacious attitude.
私たち観測計画を立てなきゃいけなくって忙しいの。邪魔だからあっち行ってよ。
She waved her hand, gesturing as if she were shooing a fly. Hearing Hikari's nonplussed tone, Takeichi returned to his normal self.
俺は観測会なんて認めてねえからな。
だったらなんで終わりの回で言わなかったのよ。
それは
先生に嫌われたくないからでしょ。
違うっつうの。
Takeichi backpedaled as he realized Hikari was a battle lost, then went after his new target, me.
いい気になるなよ、空見。お前が天の川のこと泣かしたの、俺たちは許してねえからな。
Not like I'm really wanting your forgiveness for...
だと
The one who should forgive me is Saya herself. Takeichi half dissatisfied with my reply.
どうやって許してもらう気だ。土下座でもすんのか。
アルビレオを見せてあげればきっと分かってくれるよ。天体観測会はそのためのものだからね。
Yep, I agreed wholeheartedly.
なんなんだそのあるなんとかって。さあ、怪獣の名前だと思う。知ってんだぞ。空見が昨日まで望遠鏡の使い方も知らなかったこと。だっせーな。毎日学校に持ってきて見せびらかしてたくせに。
And as usual, his two lackeys chimed in with echoes of "so lame." It was so practical that it made me wonder if they practiced this routine in their spare time. Acting mature, Hikari let out a purposely loud sigh.
そんなの もう遠い過去の話だよ。タケ、こうしている間にも星は動いているんだよ。
急に難しいこと言うんじゃねえ。こないだ理科のテストで40点だったくせに。
あんたは38点だったでしょうが。
She destroyed you by 2%.
お前らなんかに絶対できね
できるよ。
え。できない
できる。そうだよね、アキト。
Hmm? Yeah, we can do it, yeah, totally.
できなくて後で泣いて謝っても許してやんねえからな。
After that last remark, Takechi left for home with his 2 minions in tow.
ほんとタケにも困ったもんだよ。でも天体観測会は絶対に成功させなきゃいけないしね。
Yup. I replied as I recalled an image of Saya sitting in the corner of the classroom looking disinterestedly out the window. The reason she had cut herself off from the rest of the class is because of me. The day she had transferred into the class, I made her cry in front of everyone. Because of that, I had created a very awkward situation between her and the rest of the class. I knew that if I could show Albiri out her, it would help to clear up this misunderstanding. Although I wasn't all that sure if it would help her get along with our classmates.
大丈夫。きっとうまくいくよ。
Yep, you're right. Things have been going really well already. The reason I had involved the class was so that I could force Saya to come. Because even if Hikari or I had invited her out, there was no guarantee that she'd show up. Plus, stargazing can only happen at night too. So we would need to get her parents' permission for her to come out. But with Miss Saotome around, it became more of a supplementary lesson and getting their permission was easy.
私たちもう望遠鏡の使い方も知ってるし、余裕だって。
Yeah, but I don't think that's all that matters. When you observe the stars, the weather has to be clear too. Even if you prepare everything perfectly, it won't matter if the sky is cloudy.
そっか。
Then there is the fact that two of us don't really know too much about the stars yet. We could still have a few problems. Although we felt like experts on the subject, just by borrowing a few books, the reality was that we had only looked at a mere 2 pages from a guidebook. So we need to prepare as much as we can so we'll be ready for anything. We read through the books we borrowed more studiously than we had ever studied for our homework. Which makes a lot of sense given we are interested in that stuff. It makes a lot of sense. Alright, let's cut it right here. We'll continue tomorrow. We'll see where this is going. The stargazing hopefully will happen. Hopefully it will be successful. Hopefully it will happen tomorrow. Yes. Hope you enjoyed the video too. Consider liking it. And if you're not subscribed yet, do that. Subscribe. And switch to the Instagram in the description if you're into that stuff. You can follow me there. And the game is also linked in the description. It's on Steam. Yeah. That's all I want to say. Hope you'll have a wonderful day. Bye bye.